Hi everyone. In this screencast, what I want to do is just walk you guys through a few things related to D2L and finding a way around the course. In this case, it's ART 112-500 for fall of 2014. What I want to do is just walk you through the basic features of the course and how to find things and basically how to make things work so that it's as easy for you as possible to get the work done that you need to and find the material that you need to get that stuff done. So what I'm looking at right now is a view of the course homepage on D2L. And what you're going to typically see when you look at the homepage of the course is going to be news items and, of course, these sort of areas of instruction. And what I'm going to do is walk you through this first page, this first news item, and then through the sort of content and what have you areas within D2L. So for starters, what I've done here is given you a news item that acts as a kind of introduction to the course. So as you look at it, you'll see what I have is a bunch of news, links, and a little bit of information about the textbook. So let's walk through and see what you want to do. First thing that I'd like you to do is check out the syllabus. And so what I'm going to do here actually is open this in a new tab so you can see what's going on just really quickly here. And what you'll see with the syllabus is all the information you need to succeed in the class. And I think you'll find this to be pretty self-explanatory. Information about me, actually campus office hours when I'm around in the afternoon. You can obviously find me via email anytime. I've got my office phone. You can contact me that way. A quick introduction about aspects of art history. I think that's certainly going to be helpful. There's also material in course introduction that I'll tell you about as well that would be worth reviewing. Course requirements right here about when the course begins and ends, add drop dates, grading policies, reminder to participate, otherwise you might be dropped for non-attendance, and so on down the line, including at the very end as you go through this, you will see a semester schedule basically by the week with subject areas and assignments. I'll give specific due dates for each assignment in the instructions for that assignment and typically in the course news as well. Anytime there's a question about due dates or anything like that, just feel free to contact me directly to get the information you need. But as you can see, it's laid out in subject matter by subject matter, and you can very easily find that stuff in the textbook, in the course content, or of course contact me if there's any question about where you are in the class. And as you can see, it wraps up week 15, the last day of class being December 8th. So let's go back to that item on the homepage in the news. So what I have here is just some basic information, some ideas on how to get started. A note about the first assignment. The first assignment is here. It's going to be in the Dropbox area. We'll talk about that in more detail, but just let's see that real quick. Okay, so Journal 1, and I have guides on how to do that, which I'll tell you about as well. The ways in which, actually not ways, I should say, the directions for how to complete the assignment, which are pretty basic, but I think not too hard to understand, are given here. You can, and I think it's helpful to either paste in, it's probably easier, paste in your contribution right here, or you can also add a file. I think pasting in is appropriate for these shorter assignments. So it's very easy to find that first assignment. There's also a discussion, a class sort of introductory discussion right here, which you can see right there, and I assume that will get started pretty quickly. Let's see what's next in the link. We also have some audio material. I suggest with these that you simply download it, save the link, and listen to it. But just a rough idea of what's going on in the class, as well as a rough idea, just a quick introduction to the textbook. The textbook itself is described here. This is what the cover should look like, and the two publisher ISBN numbers. Okay. If you need to get hold of the CourseMate number, just let me know. Apparently, I have to find that. I thought it came with the text, but just let me know if there's any issues accessing that. It's not necessary for success in the class. And then lastly, in the course news, and this will be very typical, I'll point out what you want to read, first reading assignment, and then course material that I've created. So in this particular case, a quick introduction to art in Italy in the 14th century, and just a few review questions to consider. You don't have to answer these, but answering them and having a good idea of what's going on will certainly help you understand the material better. So that's the course news in a nutshell, and through the entire semester, I'll be updating that course news on a minimum of a weekly basis and typically 2 or 3 times a week. So I suggest you check in on a very regular basis, especially because it will have assignments, due dates, various news that will be important for your success in the class. So what I want to do just very quickly now is go through the course content, discussions, Dropbox, and quizzes areas. So in course content, you'll find available exactly the stuff that I looked at before: text, audio, video related to this week's material. And you can download this, look at it within D2L, and so on. So it's quite easy to find this. I'll try to have it available the week that you are studying it, and then available the rest, it's still available throughout the semester, but I won't have the whole course laid out in advance for access. So it should be opened the week that's being used. Just contact me if you can't see it, if there are any issues. Another useful thing that I'll include in here are assignment guides. So for instance, if you see class discussion guide, journal 1, quiz introductions, those are all audio typically designed to help you do better in those portions of the class. Again, course content is my material that will sort of present perspectives on things you might see in the text or just areas of general knowledge. In discussions, you'll see, among other things, that we already looked at that, getting to know the class, a non-graded discussion, and then an actual graded discussion. In this case, was their Renaissance. Again, refer to that discussion guide in the assignment guide section in the content for some more perspectives on that. But it's pretty easy to contribute to these. You simply start a new thread, say, I think X about the subject under discussion, and take it from there. So discussions are pretty straightforward. Make sure that you do contribute to them. They're a really valuable source of points in the class and give a good sense of community and interaction, I think is important for the class working well. In the Dropboxes, you'll see short writing assignments that will be posted typically on a weekly basis on subjects of relevance to whatever is being studied at that point in the semester. I also typically include a late work folder so that you can simply, if you miss a due date for a writing assignment, you can put it in that. And I will grade it at some point. Typically, I don't give full credit for late work unless there's a really good reason for missing it. But it's a great way just to make sure you've got your stuff caught up. In both discussions and in Dropboxes, staying on top of that is really, really critical. And then lastly, the quiz area. Right now I don't have any quizzes open, but I will, again, refer to the guide for doing quizzes in the assignment guides. But for now, just understand where they are, where to find them. They typically have the due dates set in there. And anytime you have questions about any graded work, where it is, how to do it, etc., just make sure that you refer to me. Feel free to email me, whatever, and get that sorted out. Another thing you might find useful as we go along will be in the grading area, and I have the grades listed out, and if I've graded them, there should be a number here, and look over the syllabus in terms of how that stuff is weighted. But in essence, every area of grading in here counts a quarter of your grade, each of them adding up to 100. If you have any questions about where you stand in the class, just let me know. I try to stay on top of the grading, and if there's any backlog, I'll try to address it as quickly as possible. I hope that this is a useful guide to how to find your way around D2L. And as I've said before throughout this, make sure that you just check in with me if there are any issues with accessing any of the content, finding discussions, Dropboxes, or quizzes, and good luck with the class.